Hey, good morning. Uh, it's Saturday, August 1st, 2026, and it's almost coming up on the 5 year anniversary of the first attack. I mean, the warning of the attack from Bucks County, and it was coming. Um, it was almost 5 years ago soon. Within the next few weeks, it'll be almost 5 years to the date that I was warned not to go after Josh by my best friend, and that she's going to do what she's got to do to protect her family. Somebody gave her a message, a warning shot, either for, I don't know how she found out about that. I don't know who she spoke to. She never told me that. She never talked. All of a sudden, around this time 5 years ago, I was at her house. She came in the house crying hysterically, jumping up and down, running in place, tears, hands wailing, hair going all over the place, and like a convulsions like no other. And I'd never seen her like this after years of being friends, and it was bothering me. It was bothering me. It was like, wait, something doesn't make sense. I never tell her that I was going after Josh, as using her words. I never told her I was going after Josh. I never informed her of any such plans, motives, changes, or any of that kind of stuff. So for her to come out of the blue and say, "Don't go after Josh, don't go after Josh," one day, and she's begging and pleading and whatnot, and then the next day, she wouldn't give me any, not one detail. Like she was afraid. She was in fear. Somehow she was such in fear that her body let off emotions physically manifesting itself in this fear that she had for me and for her. And it wasn't like a calm thing saying it to me. She said this in full blown hysteria. The next day, when I asked her about it, she said, "I'm going to do what I got to do to protect my family." And that was it. Our friendship for many years and holidays and whatnot gone. Uh, when she said we'll be family forever, I believed her years ago, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, about Josh, this warning came, and she's not talked to me since. Why? Who warned her? But it bothered me. It bothered me. It's like, well, what was the warning for? Was it to warn me not to go towards Bucks County or to stay away from Josh? Like, I don't. Uh, the message was very cryptic, but there was a message sent to me by somebody else that out of nowhere, that to a friend that I didn't talk to about me. There was no me going after Josh. Somebody told her I was going after Josh. How would she know that? Like, I wasn't doing anything. I was trying to talk to my son. That's what I got arrested for. So to warn me that they're coming, and then they do come in 2 weeks or so after that, September, was it 9th, 6th, Labor Day. um, she warned me, and they came, and they set me up because the warning told me that something was coming. I was told not to. I couldn't tell if the warning was for me to really stay away from Josh or don't get any closer than I already am to the truth. And because I'm so close to the truth, that Um, am I endangering the person who's asking? So, if, hypothetically speaking, if she was warned by a certain court reporter or one of her affiliates, like they came after me on the on the app, and my family and using the courts, um, what was it a warning to not do? Like, I, how do I answer my best friend saying don't go after Josh when I'm not going after Josh? Like, how am I supposed to, how am I supposed to respond to that? She's coming to me saying that I'm going after Josh or to not go after Josh, and I never told her I was going after Josh other than no. I wasn't going after something. She's telling me something again. She's telling me something that this is why it's irked me for, and on its almost anniversary, it's why it irked me because she's crying, saying, "Don't go after Josh, go after." But she's telling me something that I never said to her, nor did I tell her I was doing. She was telling me something somebody else told her I was doing. Who would tell my best friend that I was doing something and scaring the crap out of her in the meantime? On what evidence was given that showed that I was going after Josh for her to warn me? And what information are they worried about that's going to come out from this whole entire thing? So who's doing the warning? Is it the court reporter one on one? Is it an affiliate? Is it Bucks County? Uh, Something that I was not doing. I was being told by my best friend I was doing, so that never sat with me until now. Like I'm first, it's like the first time actually realizing uh, the fear that she had, and I couldn't understand where it was coming from as she was doing it. Like I couldn't wrap my. I've never seen this side of her. I mean, we've been through so many years together, so many years that out of nowhere somebody tells her information about me that's not true, which is kind of par for the course, and um, she believes them enough to stop being friends with me after all these years. That she's so afraid and so scared to talk to me. I haven't really talked to her since that day. Um, I miss her. I love her. I love her son. I love her family. I know her family. I miss her dearly. I know her birthday's coming up soon. She also didn't tell me to go to the police. Whatever this warning was, she didn't say, "Pick, go to the police." It's almost word for word. Don't go after Josh. Don't go after Josh. Please, please, please. I beg you. That's about the extent of what she would let on, other than the tears and the hair and the hand motions and feet up and down and crying and jumping up and down and like shaking and to this. I'll never forget that where I was sitting on her couch in her living room in her mobile home in Trevose, Pennsylvania, and she's I'm on the couch and she comes in the door in this fit. From where? I don't know where it came from. All night long, everything was fine, and all well, she was being kind of standoffish to me in the beginning of the night, but that makes sense now to why. But I never realized she didn't say, "Hey, we need to go to the cops." Hey, that's right. That never happened. That when she said those words, "Don't go after Josh," and that fear, she wasn't like, "Hey, listen, we need to go to the police and to report whatever this is." Okay, if she's got that much fear for my life or for Josh's or hers, why wouldn't we go to the police? She never said to me, "I'm gonna do." She said to me, "I'm gonna do what I gotta do to protect my family," but none of which she didn't say with the police's help. Nothing. Like, who has the ability to have her knowing she knows a lot about my background, but not all of it? I met her in 2012, right after Josh was stolen from me. Um, so I met her just after that. So that's when our relationship, our friendship, um, began. So from 2012 to 2020. So, um, but when she told me, and I made another video about this before, when she told me she's going to do what she needs, she's going to do what she needs to do to protect her family, is what she said. None of which had anything to do with the law. That wasn't like, listen, I feel threatened. Let me go to the police. She didn't say that. Why didn't she say, hey, listen, we need to talk with the authorities, something. This something happened and we need to get the authorities involved with this threat. And she never said that. Why didn't she say that? Why didn't she want to take the other step? Because when she knows my past with Bucks County, somewhat of the court reporter, and she doesn't want, she lives in Bucks County. She didn't want to go to the Bucks County authorities and report whatever this was. Why? Our friendship of those many years, and family get-togethers and family vacations, and being there day after day and working together and spending vacations together. Why didn't she say, let's go to the police? Why didn't she say she has to protect? She'll do what she has to do to protect her family. She wasn't like, pick, we need to go to the police because my family needs protection. I need their help. She had to protect her family. And once upon a time, I was her family too, just to be fair. But to not want to go to the police after being threatened somehow, uh, well, I'm no investigator, and I know that Bucks County loves to tell me that I know nothing, and I'm not there, and I wasn't, and they like to tell me stories. But to mess with my friends, what are you scared of? And what was the message for? Was I supposed to not be set up? I mean, because you guys set me up. I mean, were you warning her because you knew I was being set up? Or were you warning her for me to not go there at all? Like, I don't know what was supposed to be happening, but if she's getting a warning a couple of weeks before my arrest, and that day being attacked by Officer Glock, uh, was she warning me to what? Because somebody knew that they were coming at me? Was it a warning to? Because somehow, if they're warning her 2 weeks before it happens or 3 weeks before it happens, that means somebody knows something about something going on. So I was either warned to not go to Josh or not pursue anything more, or or else. And the or else happened the day of my arrest because that went so smoothly. It was beautifully done. Hats off to Officer the Glock in the Yardley Borough Police Department for doing a very terrible job of misrepresenting the facts altogether. So that was a great setup. And it makes sense, but I don't understand why you had to talk to my friends. I don't understand a warning shot. I don't understand which way the warning was towards. I mean, obviously they got what they wanted, but they didn't have to put me in jail to find out that I'm undiagnosed and have no mental issues. if they wanted to find that out, they could have just asked me to submit to a mental health report, and didn't happen that way in writing. So, um, for Bucks County to go after my friends, it is disheartening to find out that you're she didn't want to involve the law, which she knows if it was important for me that I should be getting the law involved to help me help my son. Somebody doesn't want me to get close to Josh again, and that was in 2021. I was just recently approached via somebody else, my sister, about the same woman wanting data about my whereabouts today. Uh, so I live in New Jersey. I don't live in Bucks County, and I haven't since they kicked me out. And I'm not a threat, and she doesn't need to be reaching out and talking to my family about me. Um, reaching out to how desperate, how afraid do you have to be to involve everybody and lie to them? And then, oh, my whole point to this whole thing was sympathy. When I first met her, so she got sympathy from Lindsay. What I recall is when I first met this woman, somehow she scared Lindsay so bad that she had to have sympathy for somebody. I don't understand who it was. Lindsay knew how uh, important Josh is to me, and everybody who knows me knows how important that man is to me. I don't shut up about it. I have never, but um, this woman started out with me trying to. Her weapon of choice was sympathy. She needed sympathy from me. When I first met her, she called to have me put her satellite dish in. Uh, Special circumstances. She lived in a townhouse, so she had to get HOH approval first. So I couldn't even go to do um, the line of sight check unless she gets confirmation from her HOH that she can do that, because she just moved in there and she doesn't know. So I can't go to HOH. She told me this beforehand. She just moved in there. She just got a divorce. Blah blah blah. So she got confirmation from her HOH. That was the second phone call. Third phone call was from after she got the approval. We did the uh, met her in person at the house to do the site survey and see how we're going to set it up. Once I got that established, I had to come back again to do the install. So that was two times I met her. So she had just moved into the house. The house still had boxes all around. Her dog Leo had a cone on his head from his second or third um, leg injury, where he had to be opened up and fixed. So he had the cone on his head, stitches about 6 feet, 6 inches long, and so he couldn't eat the stitches. And that was his second or third by the time I met her. But she was already off the, you see the dog. Oh my God, I feel so bad for him. He looks so, I'm going to do the install, and here I am feeling sorry for the dog. And here I am 25 years later. I'm like, after three times of having dog incidences, you don't pick up my kid and run him to the vet like you did Leo. That's how it feels. Put the dish in, uh, do the install, and show her how to stuff works, and I'm just in there do my job and leave. And I don't do the chit chat thing. I'm more of a let's start the job, let's get the job done, let's get out of here, let's move on. And that was my philosophy. So I was there to show the basic things. This is how you use the equipment for this and this and this. So I do that, and then I leave. I get a phone call I get a phone call about a week or two later. dish wasn't working. She was homesick from work, from Manhattan at the time, and she just wanted to watch TV, but she couldn't get such and such to work. So I talked to her over the phone how to do it because it's very easy to do. You do this, this, this. Well, funny thing, she couldn't get it to work, but I could get it to work when I was there, and nothing was changed. Her words. I mean, yeah, I mean, I changed nothing. Everything worked perfectly before I left, and I always make sure that things do, and I do explain them to the customer. So when all of that information, I did all of that. If she wanted to take notes, she could take notes. I gave her the book to hand her the book. If she has questions, she can call Dish Network. She had to call me. So I tell her how to do it over the phone, and then somehow that didn't work, okay, and then I said I'll stop over on my way home from work, and then I'll take a look at it there. So here I am, a Christian man, um, woman sick. She's home. She don't feel well. She just wants to watch TV, and she just moved in a new house. She's starting a new life, and who wants to be sick like that? So what do? I run the McCaffrey's grocery store, and I pick up chicken noodle soup, and I get her one of those little plants with the lily plant, like with the white tops and the little petal in the middle. And I bought her a little housewarming plant from the McCaffreys, and I bring that over to her house, and uh, felt bad. She felt sick, and then I brought in a housewarming plant. So I did that, and that's how we kind of met. But it was a sympathy. She had me like from jump. So I realized that sympathy she knew how to use so well. That was like her weapon of choice. Um, that's how she was able to bypass these things with the doctors, my family, not talking about certain things, but then bringing up other things that are more important than what she did, the lies. But it was a sympathy. So you, she, she, she used my little good heart against me, um, and she played it so well the whole time. And then that mask came off in August of or July of 2003. So it's just I'm seeing a pattern, the sympathy that she started out in Bucks with being a single parent, which she wasn't because I was half the parent and we have the paperwork to support that. So she started Bucks needing sympathy. I'm a single mom. My baby's only 16 months old, blah, or whatever, how it was. I couldn't get a confirmation from Bucks when she started. But either way, she was a single mom or recently divorced from another guy and new car from the daddy, the house from the other, I mean, not the daddy, the ex-husband. Um, but the sympathy that she needed. So she was a single mom. Dad's out of the picture, and forcing me out. Um, is let's see, she's single. He doesn't have a dad. It's really important for you know children to have a dad influence. So she's going in there having people feel sorry for her when really I was there the whole time. So that's how she kind of started her job in the middle of our. Like I said, I don't have the date that it started on, but the sim the sympathy she needed, that was all self-inflicted sympathy. You can't go into court and tell them you're a single mom when your dad signed 50-50 custody and he's saying, hey, listen, you're in contempt for not doing this thing. And then they say, well, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And she doesn't do anything about it because they're all already working together from the beginning with Bucks. So as they get to know her, as she first starts out her job, um, she needed their sympathy. And She worked them so hard for so many years. Um, and she really planted really good roots. And I could see it coming because she her she changed, um, where she showed me her. She kept the same patterns, but she was always the same. It was always the same way she'd do it. So it was always sympathy behind it, which is really disturbing. I mean, after all these years of going through this and realizing that she's made me feel not bad. Like I was happy to bring over the chicken noodle soup and the housewarming plant. I thought it was a nice gesture. That's all I meant by it, and that's all I said. It didn't lead towards anything. Like there was no pass that was made to her. I'm a very professional man. I made no pass. I made no request to see her further past that time. It was all business with me. I mean, okay, maybe I'm in my own business. I'm the owner of the business. If I want to bring somebody over chicken noodle soup, I can do that. I'm the owner. I'll do what I want to do. That's my choice. I'm just trying to be a kind, nice human being and have sympathy for somebody who's down and out or whatnot. And then coming to find out, she's Goliath. She is bigger than she didn't need anything. She didn't need a thing until she got what she wanted was the kid, and then the games were on, baby. So um, if Bucks County, I understand that as me, because I would, like I said, it took me 4 years to figure out how bad things were with Josh. So I was like 4 years behind in 2007 when I first started finding this out. So that's why it's been very difficult to. Some things I didn't understand that was happening, so it took me this long to kind of put things together. So, with video blogging about what happened with my best friend, and then getting these warning shots, and then finding out that, you know, they're still trying to find out information about me was very disconcerting. Knowing that they came out to get me hurt. Um, oh, not didn't hurt me, but it was I felt like I was sitting back eating popcorn while watching the kids play and try to figure stuff out with me. It was really funny to watch them put the story together that day of my arrest and so on. Um, but if Bucks did their due diligence, they'd know from, I mean, if there were ever a time that they were ever impartial or not intentional conflict of interest that they had a third party see at any point in time throughout this whole entire situation with my involvement with Bucks County that was without my knowledge that was coming, this war that they were throwing with this woman who needed their sympathy, and then once they found out they had to stick with her because that's why they bought the cow, so they got to stick with it so they can never change their ways. So that's fine, but I'm still going to sit here and I'm still going to tell the story, how they have attacked my family and my friends. And uh, I thought we don't do that in America. Court reporter with the Bucks County um, I I don't believe that the warning was uh, to tell me. I feel like, even though I don't know the answer, I feel like um, my gut's kind of telling me like this this woman went to my best friend, told her stories, told her that what could happen to her if she, stays on my side, what could happen to her family. I believe that somebody, this court reporter, or one of her accomplices, went to my best friend and threatened her with all sorts of kind of weird legal stuff that made her never want to talk to me again. Until recently, she texted me. She goes, "Do you want to get together soon?" I said, "Absolutely," and I haven't heard back from her, which is fine because I understand that somebody changed her heart one day and she was fine, and the next she wasn't. So um, I'm wondering if the pediatrician got the same sort of conversation as my friend did. Um, I'm wondering if Southampton Pediatrics, Dr. Klein, received the same sort of conversation as Pick did, not to call, or the reasons why not to call. I mean, if my best friend can, after what is it, 8 years of being friends together, yeah, we had our ups and downs, but we weren't going anywhere. I mean, until 5 years ago, until somebody scared the shit out of her. But who in their right mind? So, did Dr. Klein from Southampton get the same speech as Lindsay did? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. This could happen. We could do this. We could do that. I mean, is that why Bucks is saying uh, she didn't call? And I said, yes, she did. And we're going back and forth like, bro, she called. And he's like, bro, she ain't called. I think the pediatrician called and reported it, and if she didn't, she's guilty of saying it on the paper and then not doing it. So that's just as bad too. But I believe she did call. But in the event that she did not call, what my friend Pick went through 5 years ago, almost to the date, I haven't been friends with her. Not out of my choice. I still love her to death, and I know she loves me, and the boy loves me too. No doubt about that. Um, what got to her that made her flip? And I'm thinking to myself, if it can happen to her, it can happen to Dr. Klein, the persons whose name who evaluated my son on August 23rd, 2003. You're welcome. You're welcome. Victory. Who spent if you're innocent, you're not going to be running around talking to friends and influencing people and to going and trying to establish these stupid things and warnings and blah blah. If you're innocent, why are you warning my friends? Like, what are you telling them to warn me about? What are you going to be doing? What do you think's going to happen? I mean, that's scary. I mean, I went to jail because of it. Yeah, I didn't listen whatsoever. You told me that I can't go after my son, and I'm going to say, guess what? Stop me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Stop me. I mean, you only been trying for 24 years. It ain't work yet, or 20, whatever the math, 19, whatever years. You only been trying, but guess what? I'm still here, and I'm telling my story. So guess what? That's good. If you're not guilty, why would you be talking to my sister? Why would you be talking to my friends? Why would you be warning me? Why would you be still talking about me? What is going on with your head? Open up the books, tell the thing, a little 25-pound baby, 16 months old, the secret that you've held on to, just let it out, and all of this other stuff, and leave my friends and family alone. It was over 25 years ago. Leave my friends, my family alone. Court reporter. My son, talk to me anytime you want. Day or night. Don't care. Woman, Bucks County court reporter. Leave me and my family alone. Now that I know what you have done in the past, of the people in my life and the good people of Bucks County who you put in harm's way over your silly little stories that can be easily disproved and how you set them up, I'm on their side. So, whatever you think you're going to accomplish or try to accomplish, stop. Because nothing that you have done has worked out one bit of angst. And I'm so sorry that whatever you went through in your past life before I met you that made you this way, I'm so sorry you had to go through it. But leave my son alone. Tell him the truth. Be honest. Tell him why I'm not in his life. Be straightforward for once. Can you try to be honest? Can you tell him what you did from the beginning of all of this? Can you be that honest, or do you want to pretend and threaten people and bring people to solve your problems that you can't do on your own because you're weak? And that's a shame. And I feel so bad for you. It's a weak woman who will go and try to blow up everything about my life, my family, my friends, my job. Like, that takes balls. I thought we were human beings here all trying to do the same thing, and you're in trying to blow up my family even today in 2026? What kind of mental illness is this? Go to Bucks County. Give him a confession about what happened. There is no way, physically speaking, that a 25-pound baby can fall 6 inches off of one single 1-inch step and get the G-force of 70 to 100 G's of force in that time. You may have told the doctor stories, you may have told your people in Bucks County stories, and I know the stories that you've told because I documented it on what you told me. If what you told me, you switch it around for them. Blah, blah, blah. Tell them the truth. Go get Josh. Don't even worry about telling Bucks County. Go take Josh to the hospital. Go let him see a neurologist. Just do that. Forget going to tell Bucks County. Forget I said that. You know what? To pick up your son and go drive him to a neurologist, go make an appointment and be an adult and take him and go see a neurologist and let him know his status is clear. He good. Do that. Show the world. Show me that after 24 years that you care about him, because I do, and I just want to sit here and keep talking about it. So go get that boy, put him in the car, go making a. I want important doctors. I want like Philly or another state. I want a specialist to be seen by. I want them to go over his regular medical records, not your fictitious disease imposing another crap. His real report. With the reports, not your talk, because your talk is nothing. His medical records speak. You're not allowed to speak to the neurologist. Get yourself together, man. End this. Coming after me after 24 years, you're nuts. And what are you going to do? What else can be done? Like, what? It's already out there. It's already on the internet. What are you going to do? You can't turn back. You can't get rid of me, and I'm not going anywhere. God willing, unless he calls me home today, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. Give up. Leave it alone. What is it that what you're after? I don't. You want me dead? Like, what is it that you want? Like, what is it after all these years? Talk to me in my face. Give me a phone call. Tell me what's going on. You want to talk? Go ahead. You have all this time. You know my number. You also found out where I live. So, you know what? If you want to talk, call me. I tried to talk to you years ago, but you said, nope, 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 nope. it's every year. I've been trying to talk to that boy for it's 2012. Yeah, it's 2012. It's dangerous trying to steal your kid. You stole my kid, 2012. You threatened me in 2012. You threatened me with judges. You mess with it. You tamper with a class 3, 2 controlled substance and try to poison my son. 2012. I mean, um, writing the 600 pages about what you've done or done to Josh or the things that I've witnessed. They tell a pretty sad story about how bad your heart feels and how much of a strain this is. And I got that many years ago. I realized when when she was when you were going through your stuff, I saw it in my writing. I saw that you're in pain, like you're making up these stories that you have conjured up in your head, and you're saying them out loud as if they're true, and they weren't true. Just like what you told Lindsay. Mark has nothing. Mark was not going after Josh. Who told you that? How do you? How does my best friend say that uh, I'm doing something I'm not doing and accusing me of something? And what kind of story is that? That wasn't even on any of my radar. Like I don't understand where that came from. I don't know what I was doing at that time that warranted it, but to scare the crap out of my friends over what? So, you know, uh, if I have 25 years of her just bullying me and Josh and doctors and friends and the courts, it's clearly not me. Let's just establish that. These videos are, some people don't know that they were deceived. Some people just listen and they believe, and some people just have to do due diligence and live. I'm that guy. So I took the facts, put them together, realized this. It all came together. Here's your information, Bucks County. You can arrest her now for attempted murder. And they say, nah, we good. The mother says he fell off one step, but it takes about 5 feet to gain 70 to 100 G's of force at 25 pounds. And I told Bucks County that this is what happened, and they said, nah, even physics don't work. I said, do me a favor, go get a neurologist and have them take a look at his head, and you'll examine the crime scene, and you'll be able to know for sure. I mean, that's what I'm asking for. Is my son doesn't know. So, I've asked in 2020, I've asked in 2019 and 2021, 22. I keep asking for somebody to get him an MRI, make sure everything is clear, but I can't get a peep out of nobody, which is, frustrating. And not even my son, I can't get a hold of him, and which is sad because of the situation. But at the end of the day, if somebody was innocent, they wouldn't be coming after me. I have been attacked again. This woman started with her sympathy from the beginning. Now she's out. She's proven by many avenues to be. Her name appears in lots of places. Appears but doesn't appear. Weird. But this makes the case that um, whatever scared my friend to not talking to me ever again after 8 years, somebody important had to have warned her. Somebody with authority must have had to warn her. Somebody in the law enforcement went to my friend, told her if Mark doesn't back down, blah, blah, blah is going to happen. Enough to never talk to me again. Somebody where she couldn't say, we need to go to the police and discuss this, She didn't say that. Should she have? I think if it was anybody but the involvement of Bucks County or the state of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I can see. Did somebody else higher up warn her? I don't know. I this is just me speculating because she was kind of loose lips, but she told me a lot. But with other than stay away from Josh. When she gave me a check for 500 to go get a lawyer to get my son, 2014. So that's a friend. So she didn't want to escort me to the police. She didn't want to have me escort her to the police and tell them what this conversation was about. This conversation between her and I came out of nowhere, other than the fact that she was a little strange in the beginning of that night. Other than that, she was fine. And then all of a sudden, we're not friends anymore because she's going to do what she needs to do to protect her family. That means somebody who, of law enforcement, had to have gone to her, whether it be the same woman who threatened the doctors over the years, not just from 2003. She threatened other people too. Other doctors, when they put in writing must medical neglect and it's medically necessary, and she bypasses that and she goes and do her thing when. But because everybody knows she's a court reporter, she really puts herself up there next to judges. So she has elevated her own status within the people in her lives to really uh, use her position to maneuver these different pieces that she has in her life, to her benefit. So, and this isn't me, this is her. So if you're going to use your powers to hide and make secrets, I'm more of the thought process of, hey, I'm a parent. Let's do whatever we can to make sure our child is successful together. That's my train of thought. Not how can we bury this man and how can we make the body disappear, but let's make our son better. So not everybody apparently is born like that, or they're born like that, and then something messes up their head, which this is what happened with this woman. Um, I don't know any parent that has done so much on purpose to hurt their child, to take the father out, to stop all of his therapies and all of his different programs he was in with school, and then taken away from his dad, and then lie about things to the doctors, and not talking to the doctors and telling them the full story, like she didn't tell my family the full story, like she didn't tell her story, my family the story about the secret, and so on. So I'm not really somebody who likes to talk, but I'm really a little frustrated in the fact that um, you know, um, damn, got caught. Is this what you were worried about the whole time? Me going online and telling the story? Is that what the warning was for that day? Because I really have a hard time being told to shut up when people tell me to shut up. I have a hard time saying, "Don't do this." And I love, nah, bro. That's my son, bro. I'm good. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my connection. Like we had a connection, so so godlike, um, amazing. It was so amazing. First 10 years of his life with me was amazing. The closeness and how we were like on the same page. We didn't really have to talk, but we knew what we were doing, and it was a lot of love in my home. And my sister thinks that I'm being attacked because, you know, she still loves me, um, and I I don't see how that's true. Maybe she just loves me because I've been strong enough to call her out on her bullshit this whole time, and that I'm the only person that understands her. and she doesn't have that because she's been lying to everybody for so long. She's made up this pretty picture in her head, but the reality behind it is nothing of that sort. Um, there's collateral damage from this. Um, there's a lot of collateral damage from this. Um, that not everything is on me to fix. I'm just saying that um, you know I understand her, and my notes will support that. What I have written in the diaries and the journals about the situation, they just tell a story of of my fight for my son when the county told me to leave and never come back, and then not be involved and not be there for him and not try and all this stuff throughout all the years. But I'm a guy who just doesn't listen to what authority has to say when it comes to telling me something that's wrong. When I know in my gut and my heart, tells me it's something, do something else, but I have to follow my gut and my heart and what my God tells me, because that's what's important. And it's not important what they try to tell me. It's important to listen to what I have to do as a parent, as a man. And when I stay focused, you stay on one about who you are, you know who you are, then anybody else can come about you and they can say whatever they want to say to you, but guess what? In the end, it's not about that. I know who I am. I know who I am through him. They can come and try to threaten my friends, threaten me, threaten my family, mess with my job, mess with my money, mess with my business, mess with my life. That's fine. In the end, I'm here. I'm not the one living in fear. I'm the one extending an olive branch, saying, "Hey, let's get to the table and let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the boy. Let's get to the boy. Let's get to the boy first. Then we'll talk about your issues." That's my priority. See, I neglect to talk about my relationship with Josh because that's between me and him. And even though I should probably talk a lot more about my relationship with Josh, that's mine. I own that. Those are times for me. I don't want to over explain any of that stuff because that was the best parenting I could have ever have gone through, having to parent him during the crisis that this woman was having for so many years. I'm not asking for a pat in the back, but let me tell you what the fact that he did come out of this in this way, based on the information I have, based on the medical records, based on all the crap the lies, the fact that if he comes out of here normal and straight and on a narrow and he's got nothing here, then I would apologize. I have nothing to apologize for, because the more that I've been fought against for so many years and being warned, I was smart enough to know that that's a sign of fear. It's a sign of weakness. Actually, is what it is. A very weak person is trying to use intimidation thoughts to have an outcome come out that's not going to be there. That is delusion. She has delusional tendencies. She's I understand accidents happen. To let my son fall from 5 feet or more, hit the ground, hitting two places in his head and his ear. He went limp. He lied on the ground for how long? Can I have a moment of silence for like how long that unconsciousness went for? Did you even go down and check his breath? Did you even see if he was breathing? Or did you just stand over him and call who? Who? What did you do? Did you go and check his airway to make sure he was still breathing? Did you check? Because 911 wasn't there, so the ambulance wasn't there, so they would have told you over the phone, okay, stay calm, roll him on the side, see if he's breathing. Can you or leave him still, check his nose, check his airways, see if he's breathing. That's what 911 would have said. First thing you do, how's his airways? Is he breathing? Did you check? Or did you just think he was some rag doll going to be on the floor and get up whenever you say so? Were you afraid? Did you run to him, or did you like casually walk in, blah, da, 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 da? Where were you that he fell over 5 feet, that you couldn't have been paying attention to him, and for 20 something years calling me a bad parent to people that I respect, to my friends, to my family? Can't do it to my coworkers. You know why? Because you don't know them. But I'll tell you what, you can get all of my old coworkers, and guess what? They'll tell you. They'll tell the story. You go to all my places that I've worked ever since 2007. Start with Perkins. Talk to my old coworkers, then talk to the next place. I'll give you a whole list of where I've been. You can talk to my coworkers. Go to Applebee's. Go to. You can't talk to any of my private clients because that's personal. That's my own business. But go to the places I have worked. Ask what kind of man I am. Ask them what I talk about. If I ever talked about my son, go ahead. Go to Perkins. All this, majority of this went down when I was at Perkins. Those people know bits and pieces more. My diary started out that way because of the insanity from not calling back from when I called child services. The insanity. I didn't imagine these things. I didn't imagine my son. I wasn't hoping that my son would get brain damage. I was hoping that a woman would take his. First thing you do is you call 911. I didn't expect anyone to ever call the the pediatrician. And I've out of the 600 people, 700 now, whatever it is, not one ever said call the pediatrician. So if 700 people that I've randomly surveyed since 2007 all have said you call 911 and she doesn't, what are you hiding? And me telling Bucks County that I've I've Aaron Brockovich this thing, that I want to show you everything I have because I'm on your side. Please let me show you this story instead of me talking about it. Let me show you. Let me sit down with you. Let me have a conference. If you don't believe, if you don't understand what FDI is, let me explain it to you. Let me show you how it works out on paper. Let me show you how, what she did here and what didn't show up here but here. But if you're just looking at papers, it doesn't yell child abuse. But let me tell you what, when the paper yells out child abuse because the paper is actually child abuse, and I'm being told by Bucks County detectives that there's it's fine, there's no. And I say, yeah, yes, there is. And I said, okay, well, I can't. I need a judge to tell me. I'm talking to a detective just 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, from Bucks County after I wrote the letter saying that she attempted to murder my son, and I have proof of it. And their response was they put a detective on the phone with me to tell me that nothing's there, so goodbye. So in my conversation with him, I proved him wrong, told him that this, just because the paper doesn't say child abuse on it, the paper is child abuse. And I tell them that this is, listen, if you want to keep bullsh, if you want to keep blowing smoke, you can. But here's what's going to happen. At some point, what I'm saying will come out, and the fact that Bucks County couldn't figure out that 6 inches does not produce 100 G-force to cause a concussion on an 18-month-old, that this uneducated Pine Barrens hick guy from New Jersey figured out your case. Well, guess what? Bucks County has unanimously stood. Not only that, but then they also tell me that they did it. I'm gonna talk about that another time. My point is, fess up, tell the truth. Let's get the boy tested. It's now August 1st, so now I have 23 days. Hopefully, somehow, miraculous way, he gets an MRI or CAT scan and he gets to see a neurologist before his anniversary because it shouldn't be 23 years. Should never have to be 23 years. 22 and a half. Shouldn't have had to been 22 and a half years. That's way too long for a boy to know the truth. And it's 24 years worth of lies that he's been told and I've been told, or 23 years or 22 years lies. And I'm ready to close this chapter, make sure that my son's okay, and then move on, and then take the next step. Keep advocating. I will always keep advocating for children, for especially my biggest pet peeve, allergy tests. I believe allergy tests should be given at the earliest age physically possible to make sure that um, your child doesn't have allergies to things that you don't know about. So I'm a big advocate for uh, allergy tests. I have about 10 years worth of doctor's reports that should never have ever happened for him, and all of the drugs that happened for him. Had he had an allergy test uh, in the earliest stage possible, it would have warded off medications, doctor's visits, medications, sickness, flus, all this other stuff. So there was two things. My son, when I was the adult in the room again, had my son allergy tested in, was it 2011, 2012. Um, Found out he was allergic to dust mites and her dog. So he was being irritated every day of his life living at her house, physically, all because of a simple allergy test. Because she said he has seasonal allergies and he didn't. He had documented allergies to things in her house. And that boy had to suffer physically every day with all these prescriptions for things, getting antibiotics all the time, getting sick medicine, all these other over-the-counter medication, all his medication, all his life. Boy, I understand that may not be now, but not getting an allergy test early and then almost dying once, and then the month before he had a concussion too. Uh, I'm thankful that my son is alive. I would love to see him again. I'd love to meet him again. I'd love to ask him how he is. I would love to have a sitting conversation with him and a visit every once in a while. And that is what I hope for at some point. That is my prayer. That is my love I have for my son. I would love to see him again at some point. I would love to meet him again and just get acquainted and just talk and see how he's doing, what I can help out with, and let's get him the test and move on, and let's move on to a better life. And that's all I want. Let's go forward, kids. So enough about my past. Just remember that video documenting things is very important too. So it's good to put it out there for everybody. Thanks you for the United States Coast Guard behind me, who is flying maneuvers around Atlantic City. Thank you for all you people who serve this military in this country. There they go. All right. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen next. Obviously, I'm being targeted still. Um, Warning me, telling me not to uh, mess with her job when my only concern is messing with my son. She thinks I'm trying to mess with her job, but I've been just saying, let's get him a test. And her concern wasn't about getting Josh's. When she warned my sister to warn me, um, she was telling me to warn. I'm hurting her job. That was never the intent. But when a guy says, "Hey, let's talk. Let's go get our kid fixed and worked on," and she says no, then Well, then I'll talk to your job if I have to. But it's because of your job that you've been able to get away with all of these years of this nonsense. It's your job that allowed this to happen. It's your job that you got in bed with. That they, when they had the opportunity to jump in and to do something, they said, "Nah, Josh, we're on mommy's side, not on your side, buddy." They said, "Sorry, Josh. I understand you took a fall in 2003. I understand that your mom couldn't pick you up and take you to the call 911. That was very difficult in 2003 in August. That was very difficult to. It's very complicated. It's a nine, and it's followed by a one and a one. There was a house phone and a cell phone, so I don't understand how three letters plus a send, if that was the kind of phone that couldn't have been done when he laid unconscious for how long? How long did he lay down for? How long was he out for? And you checked his breathing. And when did he throw up exactly? Did it happen while he was unconscious or when he was conscious? Where was he exactly? The the report doesn't say anything from the police. So I mean, I'm so confused. Oh, the police of Bucks County. Yes, the police of Bucks County. Um, we're not invited for a reason because she worked there. So, in order to save face with working with the county, with working for these people, she had to cover it up, and that's the best way she could is by bullying the doctor into making the appointment, and then instead of going through what everything the doctor was trained for, everything the doctor was trained for, that baby should never have arrived at that doctor's office. Never. That somehow, I don't know if she just drove by and said, I don't know, but it's in the chart. So that's all I care about. But hey, there's no way that that woman, that she came into the doctor's office with Josh that day underplaying his symptoms because the symptoms she did say, she said. So there's some truth in there, or this is all some sort of hoax. And that never happened. They just decided to put that note in the file, and here I was getting it in 2007, and it was all a lie. I don't know. Do I at this point, nothing else makes sense. So I'm just going to keep talking until something makes sense. That'd be funny if somebody planted that, um, because Bucks County has totally steamrolled the whole thing from jump. It'd be funny that all of this was about a fake doctor's report because everything that the Bucks County said is basically a lie. And you can't say it's an investigation when you don't investigate. And if I can figure out that 100 G's is going to be 5 feet or more, then the doctor didn't know that one step that he fell off of had enough force to hit 70 to 100 G's. Look it up on Google, like I did, and it is physically physics. Physics say 6 inch step at 25 pounds is not equal 70 G's of force or more, 100. So when the mom told the doctor he fell off one step, and the doctor wrote that down, and the doctor took that as the answer, the doctor was being forced to accept the answer that she wanted. Just like I've been forced to take the pill of nothing there. They've been trying to get it to go down my throat for 19 years, but it's stuck. It ain't going down. I ain't going down. I ain't been down. They try to make me swallow this pill. They make me swallow. They try to make me swallow like, nope, no child abuse here. Nope, no child abuse here. All these things, all for all these years. never responded to one police report of that I've called in about her that I needed their help for harassment and threatening and the lies, just to for them to never step in for Josh's benefit, but always step in for hers, because Bucks County interest is the court reporter's interest, and the court reporter's interest is Bucks County's interest. Bucks County has never shown independence throughout any event that I've had with them since 2002. They never even tried to be fair or impartial, or where my civil rights mattered, they didn't care. Where Josh's was concerned, they didn't care. So, as arrogant as that is, to go through to see a county so arrogant that they've never even tried to even appear to be impartial at any one court proceeding for all of my custody or support or the criminal stuff. They've never, the recent criminal stuff, having to deal with me going to the police, not because I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal for trying to love my son. That's what I get arrested for trying to show them proof like they asked me, and I did, and they set me up. But the point is that I don't respond. I responded to both verbal and nonverbal communication. So documented helps and has helped throughout this whole process. But if they keep telling me no, nothing's there, and now I've proven that that lie of 6 inches never happened, that makes her guilty of lying. My son, my Josh, my baby had to have fell at least 7 feet high or more to have sustained 70 to 100 G's of force. But we'll never know how much scarring is there until we get him in under the CAT scan. We'll never know the force that was thrown upon that baby brain at 16 months old until. So the story that she tells doesn't go along with science or physics, to be more specific. So whose story is she trying to convince? Who is she trying to convince? Who is Bucks trying to convince that there's nothing there? Me or themselves? Because I really feel like Bucks has been saying this, the not answering my phone calls or the not responding to child abuse phone calls and saying, you know what, you're don't. And I'm like, nah, that's my kid. You don't tell a dad no that you're not going to go try to protect him, and that's what they've been trying to tell me to do. So are they saying they're not going to investigate because they don't want to know? Because they're, they're going to say no, because if they said yes, then that means that they look bad either way. Well, Bucks County can't have that now, can they? So they're going to make the guy who's begged them to say, hey, let's sit down and have a talk nicely for the same way this whole time, and they refused, and that's on them. But I've extended the invitation to them for many years, as well as I have for my son and for his mom, and so here we are. Good news. Um, the investigation is complete. The information to the Bucks County detectives about the physics on the paper was told to them. That's where we're at today. So here we are going forward. Will Josh get an MRI before his anniversary? That's the question. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I've been hoping for. Whether or not a relationship with me ever happens again, it's up to God. The only thing I'm responsible for after all these years is because I'm from Philly. Because I was told that you got to protect your kid. And even if the kid's mom works for Bucks County and they tell you to no, you can't protect your kid, I'm gonna protect him. And they've told me no for so many years. They're not going to protect him. They don't care. They're going to protect her. And they've told me that, and I hear what they're saying, and they will not lift a finger, and they will not do one thing they have not done. They haven't volunteered that I've even after I asked them to give them an MRI CAT scan to find out the evidence of the crime scene that happened on that day. They said there is nothing there. I accept that. I don't tolerate it, but I mean I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Well, you're gonna always tell me no because I'm nobody. So yeah, you can keep telling me no like you've done. That's okay. I'm very smart and I understand and I don't get upset. What I do is I make videos. So I'm so happy that I've been able to catalog this date and this time about something that happened almost 5 years to the date and how that message now got received today meant a whole different thing back then. When she told me to don't go after Josh, but they're setting me up and they tell me to leave, and I pack my car and I get up out of there, and then they arrest me, and then they said they want me to go, but then they arrest me to bring me in. I'm like, you're such a bipolar people. You set me up and then you tell me to go away and then you pull me back in and then here I am and I didn't understand the whole thing. Anyways, that's on one of the other videos. But you sound like you really don't know what you want to do with me, other than the fact that now that I don't live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, you can't really touch me, and that probably aggravates a lot of people who work in Bucks County with the fact that they've had to say no and to have lied and to have um, had to misrepresent the truth to people who have seen the truth that I have told them on facts based information and they still say no. Well, see, just because they say no, it doesn't mean that there's nothing there. So the fact that all their no's altogether have simultaneously for 20 something or 19 years have always been no, I expect nothing less. So what's good about this is it's given me an exercise on how to watch people spin out of control until they fall flat on their face. And then once they fall, they realize they can't mess with people um, that they shouldn't mess with good people. And they should learn to do their due diligence. Um, I didn't ask for any of this. Josh didn't ask for any of this. I know he didn't. My son was a victim at 16 months old, but it was coming because a month before that, he was at the doctor's on July 14th, 2002, or 3, with another head injury. And who knows before that, and who knows after that. And we know about Leo and all of his surgeries and all of his problems, but Bucks doesn't want to hear that either, which is funny because you tell them all the information about their court reporter for so many years. I mean, all the psychological classes they had me in and all the blah, blah, blah. And just to come to find out that whatever they thought about me isn't true. But this relationship that I have between Bucks County, it's kind of like one-sided. Here I am telling them all the information, everything that they need to know to do their job and to help my son. And they're saying no, we're helping the court reporter, and they've been telling me this since 2007. I don't take hints that well. I don't appreciate being bullied. I won't listen to bullies. And if it makes you mad because I'm not doing what you tell me to do or what you warn me about, that's not between me and you. That's between you and God. If I don't get scared from Pick or from the other people that they've been involved with, or taking away my freedom and taking away my car and taking away my good great credit. I had an 800 credit, money in the bank, nice home. I had uh, but when they come after you, you give up everything, and you do that for your kid. If the government's going to come after you because you're trying to protect your child, and the government says to leave and never come back, I packed my stuff up and I did. So you want to put me in jail and arrest me for things I didn't do with false information through police reports, you go right ahead. You you have fought so dirty in your own little game that all the little things you tried to do to mess me up for all the years didn't work. And I'm biting my lip because there's one word or a phrase I'd love to say on the video. But the fact that you played so dirty at your own law game, I mean, it's just so funny. It's like you're going up against a chess master, you know. I mean, you think Bucks County, oh, you get all that you get the important blah 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 blah. They just people, it's just people. I don't care. Judges, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I mean, I care, but I mean, I don't. When you're using judges and they're going to perjure themselves on a stand and talk about stuff that they say is not true, and they're going to perjure themselves when I have facts that say the otherwise, that's not good. That's terrible. So when you watch a whole county slowly uh, uh, twist their neck, and after all the rope you give them, and they're sitting there, they're hanging in there like this, and they're hanging, and they just won't let go. They're just hanging. Like, you gave them all the rope to do it. Okay, you gave them all the opportunities, and they say no. I've extended the olive branch since 2007 and the years since then to say, let's sit down and have a conversation. They don't want to talk, okay. Well, it's my turn to talk. They really cheated at their own game. That the game that they know, and I'm not educated enough to know this game, but let me tell you what I learned. And put the list here in the in the credits because all the stuff I learned about this stuff I didn't want to learn about. I didn't want to know about the law. I didn't want to know about, I just wanted to treat people right. I didn't want to know how the sausage is made. I didn't want to know about the politics. I didn't want to know about the political people that were involved. I didn't want to know about. I didn't want to know any of this. I didn't want to know what I know now. Back then, I didn't want to know. I did not want to know any of this stuff. How the courts work, how the jails work, how uh, the Norristown State Hospital. Call me. Look, I just want to have a farm out in the middle of nowhere and live there with food and water, or travel around the country. I just want to be left alone. Or if I can't be left alone, and if I can't just travel or have my own little house, I'd rather go from city to city talking about this whole story. And I will make videos until I'm dead, until this is solved. But if the county or this woman thinks that, after all of this, that I'm going to go away and I've solved Bucks County's crime for them. Um, I guess I can say, I'm not looking for any sort of, you know, I just want my son to get an MRI. That's all I care about. That there's no uh, brain damage. That he won't suffer an aneurysm because of this. And if he can, let's get to it now. is get to it while we can, while he's young, ger, older from the time, but all the studies say that there would still be scar tissue there. So to say that imaging with that scan wouldn't be helpful now, yeah, what would be left on his skull would be matter that died as a result of what happened in that day. So the importance of getting that imaging done is to make sure that there is the you can get a glimpse of what part of his brain has been affected, the ones that have been documented throughout the years for adverse issues. But this is a different situation. It would really be looking at the how much scarring is there and what part of the brain, so we can give him the help that he needs. We can help identify what those are and really say, okay, scientifically speaking, this is how we have, you suffered a loss in this part of the brain or this, and then the doctors can say, well, this is what the outcome is going to be. You will have show symptoms like this, like the focus that he has problems with this memory loss that he has problems with the emotional issues that he has problems with. I mean, the physical problems would be the head. So those are 4 or 5 things that require my son to go get a find out evaluation, and that were the reasons, because the scarring that would be there would help understand where his delays are, where and we can focus on trying to take the next step, and that is move the needle to work on the memory, work on the focus, work on the whatever issues that also come up with it as well. And then it would also, if I was talking to him, it would help heal a lot of the things that the frustrations and the lies that he was told. I would help ease his mind and to understand that there's not been a day that I've been alive, that he's been alive, that he hasn't been loved, that he's been loved. I don't know who told him that he wasn't, that I walked out of his life, but the aunt said that I did, which I didn't. So if Josh's own aunt, the court reporter's sister, tells the world on my GoFundMe that I walked away from my son, which I did not, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. I was threatened. I was harassed. I was coerced. I was lied to, and I there was no that never happened. No, I was that was no, didn't walk out of my son's life. The proof is that voicemail from 320 314 2012. So um, my son thinks that I walked out of his life because the woman's sister told me on my GoFundMe page. So um, my son has been living a lie again, thinking his dad doesn't want him and he walked away when I never did. That is far from the truth. Never wanted it. And so you got all these lies going on with all these people that are hurting them. Like, she said that. I'm like, that is not how it went down. I was tricked. I was deceived. I was lied to again and again and again. And that's what happened. But that's not the story that the aunt tells. The story the aunt tells is the story that the mom wants everybody else to believe. That is a lie. Never walked away from my kid. No. So my son thinks that too. So that never happened. Should I? How do I tell my son that what he's been told since he was 10 years old was been a lie? And how, who does he believe? Like, if that was a lie, then what about me? So I'm taking the brunt of her lies and her mental anguish, and I'm the one who can't see my son or can't get him tested or can't have a relationship with him for the last 12 years. I mean, sorry, don't watch this. If you don't want to watch about a dad who loves his kid, then don't watch this. But in the meantime, it's just funny how things just come together sometimes. It's funny how you look back and you realize that, yeah, this is the 5th anniversary of when I lost my one of my best friends or one of my friends. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but you learn that life goes on, and then you do. But to know that somebody else stuck their nose into my business, and scared her out. Come to my face and tell me what you told her. Tell me. It's, I mean, what did you say? Who said it to her? What was, I mean, this girl never showed that sort of behavior in all the 8 years or so that we were friends, and all of a sudden she's dipping out and said, "Peace, bro." And I'm like, "Nah, sis," and she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, well, until then, love you," and that's how it is. The only reason why we stopped being we were to closer is because somebody threatened her, having to do with Josh, having to do with some scheme of me going after. I mean, yeah, is that such a bad thing? Going when when she said to me, "Going after, don't go after Josh." You know what that means as a father? Like, what do you mean? Why? What, that's my kid. What, who's telling her to tell me not to go after my boy? Why is a third party entering into my relationship with my friend unannounced, unasked for, unsolicited, and then they're threatening my friends for me to do something that there's no proof that I was doing at the time? Do I have this story right? Am I about right with this story? Am I, is this the country I live in? When you have something against a Bucks County court reporter and they're going after your family and friends and stopping your livelihood and kicking you out and bullying you and putting you in jail, and then what are you going to do? Talk about it? All right. Well, here's talking to it. Here's talking about it. Thinking that you would break up my friendship with my son first, and then with my friends, and then with my family. I mean, it's a good play. I gotta be honest with you. It's a fun play. It's really, it really says a lot about what is going on around me. But the beauty about my relationship with God is that I'm protected from head to toe. So I'm in His care, I'm in His love, I'm in His grace, so I'm good. My son's not. I'm good. I'm 100%. I'm golden. I'm more than there's. I'm I'm rubber. You're glue. Whatever you say bounces off to me and sticks to you. Well, that sticking to you part is coming so soon to a theater near you. I'm rubber. You're glue. What kind of shit are you talking to? You weird. I'm sitting here talking about it 5 years later. That's the hysterical part about it. This is, if this weren't true, I'd strike me down. If this ain't true. If this is a true story, this really happened. That's what's so funny. It's comical. It's comical. All the wasted taxpayers' money for all of their nonsense throughout all of the years. They wasted Pennsylvania taxpayers' money on cases against me and not helping Josh and not being involved. I mean, they wasted so much on trying to get something to stick to me when instead of them trying so hard to have them stick it to me, they could have paid for an MRI for Josh. Like 100, 200 times over. what an MRI costs. It would have been cheaper for Bucks County to have administered an MRI in 2007 when I called than it would have been to put me in jail. See, if they would have done that in 2007 when I called, I think it cost Bucks County. I think Bucks County got a kickback of like $1,000 a day for my incarceration on average between Norristown and Bucks. So Bucks got paid a lot of money for incarcerating me on a fake charge. So that was good for them because they know how the system works. So they got free money from the state for arresting me and then having me seek mental health services that weren't required by any doctor at any time at any point. So hats off to you for using Pennsylvania taxpayers. Who was the arresting district attorney at the time? Matthew Weintraub, the one I called on his election line multiple times, asking him to, before I got arrested, that we need to talk and let's try to find something. And not one of my phone calls made it through to Matthew, the district attorney at the time, who is now a judge, sitting judge. Um, didn't make my police report, which is funny. But giving them warning and opportunity to do something. Well, I think I've had enough. Arresting me, putting me in jail. They get kickback from the Commonwealth for my incarceration. So Bucks County got a kickback from my incarceration, which is basically free money for the county. Um, Free because they didn't have to earn anything. They just falsified every report and everything to get me in, and they got a kickback from the state for all of that stuff. Because Bucks County doesn't work for free, right? They work on behalf of the Commonwealth. So with Matthew Weintraub there never calling me back after the many phone calls prior to my arrest, which is surprising, which is upsetting a little bit, trying to say, hey, listen, you got something here, and they say, no, you don't, but okay. And they don't respond to your phone calls, and when I try to tell them nicely, listen, there's something here, and they didn't want to do it on behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Bucks County incarcerated me without a trial and without a conviction, which is pretty upsetting, being the fact that my public defender pretender didn't even ask me for my statement or went over the facts of what happened. And had they done, they would have seen on the police report that the victim in this case, court reporter, saw my Jeep Cherokee leave her facility. Um, However, my public pretender didn't ask me what kind of vehicle I drive at any point. In which case, but hindsight's fit is 2020. But I don't have a Jeep Cherokee, which is listed on the police report as official news or official documentation of my whereabouts at her facility. That's a lie. I never owned a Jeep Cherokee. A Cherokee is named in the police report, and that was filed along with other things uh, that were said that were not done and were not said and were done. So this isn't my dilemma. This is Bucks County's dilemma. This doesn't fall on me. I'm just a light bearer. I'm just telling you, exposing to you, to whomever, nobody apparently. I'm 33 subscribers, and the law has been able to circumvent my civil rights and to use it for their benefit. So then they use what their resources they have against me, have me attacked in jail 2 times at 2 different places, crack my phone, petty, and send me on my way, and then make me pay for probation. And which is really funny because I had to pay court fees for something I didn't do. So, for a crime I didn't commit, for something I didn't do, but they uprooted my life. I was told to leave. Um, I was threatened by a police officer in my face who was trying to attempt to get me to 302 myself by putting my hands on him, and he came this close to my face and told me to what do you want? Why are you here? Blah blah blah. Get out, leave, don't ever come back. He's looking in my car. I'm looking at him. He's looking in my car to see if there's anything in there that he can arrest me for right there. That's not working. So there was nothing in my car to have gotten. I have no weapon. No, I didn't. So he had to go peek into my car. Um, and then when that didn't work, when he had nothing to arrest me for and I didn't stick my hands on him, he told me to leave and never come back. And then that's when I found out 2 weeks later that I was arrested for that day for this incident that happened. When they told me to bring over more files, and I had that on voicemail, and I had posted that, and said that, and they told me to come over with any documents of information about the abuse, and I do such thing, holding the envelope in my hand, saying, "Here it is, officer," and they say, "You're arrested." Well, they didn't say it there. They said it 2 weeks later. So I get arrested for their bad police work and their lies. So um, that's why I know this is up there high up there, because this officer shouldn't be acting like this. I've never seen an officer act like what I've received from Bucks County, from specifically Yardley Borough Police. Do not fit the normal uh, way that police talk to civilians. I was treated specially. I didn't ask to be treated specially. I wanted the right treatment for the right thing, for what I'm coming in for, what I need your help for, and they say no. They kick me out. They tell me to leave. Okay. I'm a very accommodating person. You want me to go? I go. That's easy. You didn't have to have me leave my whole life behind. I left all my contents behind, packed my car up, and I was on the road for 6 months or 4 months, whatever it was. And I was in Birmingham, Alabama, when I found out I had a warrant. No, I was in Atlanta. Found out that there's a warrant out for my arrest because I missed my first court appearance because they told me to leave and never come back. So instead of dropping it, they let the warrant stand, so they wanted me back. Well, by the time I find that out, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm doing DoorDash across America, trademark. And I've DoorDashed between here and Alabama and back. I've hit 13 states, and I'm in Georgia at the time. And I say, you know what? Alabama is just the next state over. Let me go over there. Let me go see the birthplace of civil rights. So I get in my Jeep Compass that I've owned since 2017, and I drive to Birmingham. And I spend some time driving around there thinking about the civil rights, thinking about Martin Luther King, thinking about Mr. Lewis, who had passed not too soon after that, the congressman, you know, the birthplace, what was going on here with the devastation within what was going on in Thelma and Birmingham and all the other. I was thinking about the civil rights movement. I mean, it was very nostalgic. It was very humbling, and it was very like I was on hallowed ground. And here I was with a case matter of civil rights that were being against me. And what did I do? I go to Birmingham, go to Franklin County Courthouse. I stop at Buc-ee's first because Buc-ee's is one of my favorite places to go to since Alina showed me in Texas, in Dallas, about Buc-ee's, and I fell in love with Buc-ee's, and I've been to 5 of them so far. So I go to Leeds, get a motel room, stay there. I went to Franklin County Courthouse, went to Buc-ee's, got them fudge, because they had fresh fudge there, and then they had pecans. Pecans are very popular down south. So I got them a box of fudge. Them meaning the people who are going to be arresting me or to taking me in, the service, the DA or whoever the detectives, police are who would be taking. So I brought a gift for them. I brought them a box of turtles and I gave it to the man who I walked. So I went into Franklin County Courthouse with these things, parked my car, parked in a spot away from the courthouse, so just in case I did get pulled in, it'd be there. And then I would be out there when I get out. And then went in there to give myself up. I gave myself up in the birthplace of the civil rights movement, Franklin County Courthouse. I have pictures of my feet sitting there, and my feet with the Franklin County sign on the back. And I gave myself up. And I went upstairs to the seventh floor, I think, or sixth floor, talked to a police officer, brought him the fudge. I said, I'm here to turn myself in. I understand there's a warrant for my arrest in Pennsylvania, and I'm here to turn myself in. They run my name through every database that they have down in Alabama, and nothing comes up. So that was a choice for me. Do I go back to Pennsylvania to face this? Or do I escape this and flee to a different state and move on and never go back like they were hoping for? I think they were hoping I was going to do that, to leave and to be a fugitive for the rest of my life, which they were forcing this man into doing something that I wasn't comfortable doing. I'm not going to remain a fugitive based on fake charges from a county who's protecting a child abuser and accept that. So what do? I turn my car, I head north, I call Bucks County. I said, how dare you put a warrant out for my arrest? I call them and have like an hour conversation. Like, what are you talking about? Why is this happening? What is going on? Why are you putting a warrant out for my arrest? So I go back to eventually turn myself in. So I take a nice ride through Tennessee, through Louisville, Kentucky, and so I go North Virginia, Northwest Virginia, up to Pennsylvania, see my friend Lisa, and then head west, and eventually, you know, um, going around the place where I know that they would pick me up. So, and that's I spent 2 weeks in Camden County Jail after they picked me up. So I want to thank them for letting me see this beautiful country before I went to jail. So I loved it. So good things did come out of that. And learning about all this and want to talk about it and be advocating for other kids, that's what I want to do. I want to tell the world and I want to teach others that no other child like this should ever, no other child in this world at these times and these with this information technology. Let's change some of that. I'd like to talk to the doctors and insurance companies and tell them how this woman was able to slip through the cracks so easily through their own systems that they built and they can't even see what I can see and what's actually physically there. So I want to get to the bottom of this. So, if nothing else, it has pushed me to be an advocate for children through this whole entire process, to be an advocate that there are holes in the walls of this county that they weren't aware of, and let them know that I support them and that I have understood their position this whole entire time, and that I'm willing to have a peaceful resolution to this whole entire situation. But more importantly, let them pass along a message to this Bucks County court reporter to leave me alone and leave my family alone and give me back my son. Let him know his status. That's first. Be a good human. Do the right thing. Please. For once.